Hey everybody, I'm back, and that was my attempt at making some music for the intro. Might not be the greatest, but it's probably a little bit better than silence. Each week I've been trying to make the videos a little bit better to go along with the fact that I'm playing a little bit better game each week as we start at the worst games and work our way up to the top of the list. Um, this week I also figured out the settings that I needed to change in my video game recording software, which unfortunately, I figured out after I already recorded this week's game's videos. I should have Googled it earlier and figured out what the problem was instead of trying to tinker with the settings on my own and figure it out. But that's how it is. So after this week, the games will be in much better quality. I did go back and re-record some stuff, but I didn't really want to have to redo everything, so there is still some crappiness to it, but after this week, it will be much better, I promise. So let's get to the games.
Front Page Sports Football is an American football game. They accurately recreate American football field by having lots and lots of load time things, sometimes taking over a minute. You get to pick your coach's name, and then you get to pick your team. I picked the Saskatoon Meteors, and we are a nice pink team. I don't know what that subliminal message is, but it made me not know what to do, apparently, because I hit next week on the first week of draft. I don't know how to draft, so I'm just gonna train people instead. Train my roster of dudes. Just click on a whole bunch of drop-downs randomly because I don't know what I'm doing. So then I set my dudes in their places. I just made sure I picked the proper position for the position, and then put the tallest guy in there usually, hoping that was the best. I had no clue. I'm a female. So, went to my first preseason game and started sending dudes in to play. This is actually a mid-season game here because the 3D stuff didn't record. I had to go back in and record it, but this is mid-season. All the different angles you get to see all my dudes running and tackling and getting tackled, I guess. The game doesn't seem to have any audio at all. At first I thought I was going to have to sit through each game for the entirety, but it turns out you could hit leave game and it would finish off the game with the AI. Later I found out that you could just go to the summary and it would do all the games at once. But this takes about 3 minutes to do, so you're gonna be sitting there for a while anyways. There's some weird things like, as you can see here, Philadelphia Minutemen. I'm not sure what's up with that. The Saskatoon Meteors went on to have a very losing season. I blame the coaching. Not to be confused with Game Dev Tycoon. Game Tycoon is a similar game, but executed very, very creepily. There's just something really off-putting about this. Wait a minute, zoom in. Zoom in more. Enhance. Penis. Ugh. Alright, well, let's get going here. There's a little speed thing. Let's try to speed him up, since we have to walk so far. That does nothing. Slow back down. Okay. Checking a lot of things. Just give him all the features. That's great. Alright, let's go to this next building, I guess. None of the buildings are labeled, so you just kind of have to poke around with your penis hand till you find what you need. This frickin' PDA keeps popping up and it causes the time to go back to slow. This is taking forever as it is. Come on. Alright. Almost done. PDA? Okay, let's go to this other random building which I don't know the name of because it's not labeled. I'm sure it will have what I need. Okay, buying something or other. I don't know what type of game to make. Kind of have penis on the mind, so let's try to counteract that with some boobies. Make a nice erotic game with boobies. Keeps telling me I need to select 2 things, but it only let me pick one. Whatever. Let's make this booby land. This sounds like porn music. What the heck? Well, I guess that's appropriate. Let's pick some artists. Hopefully they can draw some boobies. I'm sorry, am I supposed to hear what this guy is saying? I can't hear over the frickin' machines clanking around. Now that I've released my game, I get to see how well it was reviewed. Holy cow, 19%? That's way better than Game Tycoon. I'm amazed. Tesla Breaks the World is a platformer, and like any platformer, it starts off with a bunch of signs you gotta read and a bunch of abilities you gotta figure out how to use. I actually love the look of this game. It's very visually appealing. What they do to you, though, is also load you up on cutscenes. Lots and lots of cutscenes. The villain, by the way, is Edison. Your main weapon thingy is this gun. Forget what it was called, like magnifying transporter gun, but what it does is you zap something and then you can move it around. Pretty amazing. You can zap zombies with it and zap other zombies with the zombie. This does have controller support, but because you need to have both aim and depth to use your gun thingy, I wouldn't recommend it. It's a lot easier just to use your mouse. Since Tesla is so light on his feet with his double jumps here, these falling platforms are not a really big deal. Now, when I started playing this game, I thought, were they going to have anything about pigeons? Because if anyone who knows Tesla knows anything, it's that he had a creepy thing for pigeons. And you do get a pigeon. He becomes your life partner. Mine is named Bubbles. You can send him off to do the things that Tesla is not able to double jump up and deal with, and you could also send him to go collect little items for you. They said that you could use him to distract the zombies, but I ended up having some trouble with that. When I sent him off, they just kind of went underneath, and then they got stuck underneath me, and then I tried to just kind of ease over the ledge and shoot them, but it wasn't possible, and like, what am I gonna do here? Maybe I can jump for it? Maybe I'll make it? Maybe I'll land on top of the zombie and squish it like a Goomba? Oh, let's go for it! No, seemingly impossible. Subject 9 is, I wouldn't say it's a fun game, but I found it kind of amusing. You proceed in this diagonal fashion down this hall, which, get used to it, you're going to have to hit both W and D to go straight anywhere, because everything is set on this weird perspective. At least you get to punch some dudes in the face during the tutorial. Let's skip to the first level. They do give you guns and stuff, but I found this elemental weapon that you use by fist pumping, I guess, is much more effective. Because you get to hear the guys flail around and try to wipe the fire off themselves like this. I had to go into the game asset files and extract that sound just to play because it was so great. They do give you some upgrades, but because the elemental ones are so expensive, I just opted for the ones that would keep me alive instead, because it did seem pretty easy to die, and that's not fun. There's some usable items in the map, such as a shield and 2 turrets, but in order to use them, you have to hit the E button 3 times in front of them to get them to work, and that's not really that easy when you're being shot at. I don't really want to use them when I'm not being shot at, because that'd be a waste, but how am I going to get out there and hit the E button 3 times? Here's me attempting to use my gun. I'm not very good at it. I know I have to get the little red crosshair. Feels like my bullets are spongy. This is the normal difficulty level, so I don't feel like the bullets should be that spongy, but they are. There's dudes on the sides that you can't see, but if you try to wiggle your mouse over to adjust the camera, it's not going to help at all. It's very fixed. So I guess the only option is to just go into this corner and die now. The quivering. What is DOSBox? Oh, this game's from 1998. I ended up being stuck for so long that I had to look up that you have to go to the crossroads outside of town and talk to this crow who ends up being your uncle, and he shows you this film, which has this really creepy dude with this super creepy thong on. I'm not sure what's with monsters wearing creepy thongs, but okay. Turns your uncle and his buddy into creepy things. Your uncle takes the cube, which has caused all this, and you hook up with him and the cube. Now that you have the cube, you can actually do stuff, like collect these bunny imp guys. Whoa, the cube's doing stuff! These bunny imp guys apparently allow you to save, but you can only save 1 per bunny imp guy that you get, so use them wisely. You have to go back to town, where you get to talk to all the townspeople who are very tongue-in-cheek. You have to go talk to groundskeeper Billy.
Yeah, and I'm little Shirley Temple. I'm little Shirley Temple. No, I didn't mean it like that.
Unfortunately, those blips and pops are what happened throughout the whole game, as if it was ripped from a scratch CD.
Sacrebleu! By the Holy Christ, the grenouille of my own Champs-Élysées.
That seems a little racist. Get to meet some colorful people, and what you really want to know is...
You ever hear of a guy called Big D?
I left the mansion for my search for the Big D. I never found the Big D, though. My efforts to find Big D left me empty-handed.
So that was this week's games. Hopefully you noticed some of them were a little bit better quality, and expect that in the future. Some stunning HD stuff. There's a lot of other quality issues that I need to work on, but I promise I'll attempt to fix them as things go on. So yeah, that's it, and I'll see you later.